So I was appointed on the 1st of November 2020. And subsequent to that, I started building structures and doing all the work that was necessary that I was supposed to do. However, soon after, when there was elections, it was time for elections. We had to nominate people who were going to serve as councillors. And Musa Ubega was actually the one that we nominated to be the mayoral candidate of eThekwini. However, ActionSA felt strongly that given the fact that we are a new party and KZN is a very difficult political terrain, they then said, no, we would like you, Dr. Khoza, to be the mayoral candidate for eThekwini. At that stage, when I was asked to be the mayoral candidate of eThekwini, nobody explained it to me that whatever cost that the election cost, campaign costs, they will have to be paid for by the candidates, those that would have made it to the list. Consequently, what then happened was that I was suddenly confronted after the elections with an acknowledgement of debt of 52,000. And at the same time, I didn't know how that was going to work out. Secondly, over and above that, as 52,000 acknowledgement of debt, which you had to pay from your councillor allowance over a 3-month period. I was then also confronted with the fact that we were also expected to sign another debit order for 10% of the gross salary of councillors. And obviously, I'm a widow, I'm a single woman, and I have, apart from my children, I mean, you know, black tax. That is a reality in South Africa. That is the plight of most black South African natives. There was just no way I was going to be able to survive on that, because what that meant, Michael then said to me, they were going to top up my salary with 15,000, which would have meant that my salary was going to be cut by half, more than half, just overnight. I then wrote a letter saying to Michael, because I don't want fights, I wrote them and I said, listen guys, I would like to be released in 3 months' time as the ActionSA KZN chairperson, because I will not be able to live on that salary of the top up, because I'm also expected to pay this 52,000 and I'm also expected to pay 10% of the gross. So they were not factoring those factors, they were not factoring those issues into account. Yeah. So that's when I wrote that letter. And that letter I wrote because, again, on the date when I was supposed to be paid my salary in November, I had not been paid. So I then had to ask Michael, why am I not paid my salary in November? Mind you, at that time, I had not even received that councillor allowance, and I didn't even know what was it going to amount to. But as a local government practitioner myself, I actually had an idea of how much that amount, how much an ordinary councillor will be getting, because there was no position of MPEC at that time. Yeah. So I then accepted. I then said to Michael, in 3 months' time, maybe if this position is not resolved, this issue is not resolved, I will have to relinquish this position, because I will have to take up a position as a lecturer. And if I'm going to take a position as a lecturer, there's a lot of marking work that I will have to do. But then events changed. On the 15th of December, then we went to a council meeting, and I think it must have been around 6 o'clock in the evening when the elections for MPEC chairperson took place, because throughout the day we were dealing with business of the day. It was the first proper sitting of council. So Musa Ubega from ActionSA then nominated me as the chair of MPEC. I had no reasons to believe that there was something untoward with that, because I was being nominated by one of my own. the Musa Kubega is now the current chairperson of Action SA. And mind you, he's also the whip of the committee of Action SA in the council, which means that he is the person that is responsible with engaging with different political parties if we want a buy-in on whatever position.
All right.
So I wasn't aware that the ANC was going to appoint me. Then I was surprised when on the 21st of December, the president asked for a Zoom meeting, and then he fired me as the KZN chairperson and Senate member.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with Senate member, but that one of KZN chairperson, I thought that he was going to follow the normal procedures consistent with the Labor Relations Act, because that position, I'm an employee, I'm not a,
Dr. Khoza,
yeah.
I have one final question for you. Unfortunately, I have given you time to explain this. All right, so what you are putting forward to the public now is that you did not resign voluntarily. You were fired, but here's my question to you. Mr. Mashaba told us yesterday that he personally has gone to the disciplinary committee of Action SA to lay a complaint against you. Do you know what that complaint is about?
At this stage, I know nothing about that. It was the first time I heard about it last night, and I'm not going to comment about that. And I am willing to subject myself to the processes of the organization as a disciplined member and loyal member of Action SA, and I do respect my president. So I will wait until such time that they bring those charges before me, and then I will appear before the disciplinary committee.
And you intend on staying in Action SA as a member?
I'm definitely intending staying on with Action SA, and I really do believe that Action SA has a lot of potential, but I do believe that Action SA is experiencing sitting problems consistent with all new political parties. And remember, we are coming from different perspectives. The majority of the people are coming from the DA, and I'm coming from the ANC. And sometimes those kinds of issues do arise because we have different approaches to problems. So I'm looking forward to that. And I would love to clear my name because I never betrayed Action SA.
Dr. Makhosi Khoza, thank you very much for explaining that to us. There you have it. She says she was fired. She did not resign.